2021 qualification. Central African Republic taking on Tunisia. Interesting matchup. We've had a busy weekend of basketball here in Tunisia. And as it stands, both Tunisia and the Central African Republic will be making their way to AfroBasket 2021, securing qualification already. However, players in both of these teams now know that their personal challenge is to secure one of those 12 spaces in each of the rosters. Here's the games we've had. Tunisia turning over Democratic Republic of Congo by 5, and the Central African Republic beating Madagascar by 7. They were the games yesterday. Our game here today is going to be closed out and followed by Madagascar against the Democratic Republic of Congo to close the final qualification window. Here's the group. Tunisia looking pretty at the top of the table. 5 wins, 0 losses. Central African Republic just behind them, 3 wins, 2 loss record. And with the Democratic Republic of Congo securing that final qualification spot here in Group A of the AfroBasket Qualifiers. Just a few minutes from the opening tip here. Both players taking on some fluids before we get underway, entering their final preparations. Few fans in the stands, but still, obviously, understandably, very limited numbers in attendance. Everyone sticking to the strict COVID protocols set out by FIBA. Health and well-being of all involved is the top priority, and has been well appreciated by everyone involved as well. It's enabled us to have some unbelievable games across the AfroBasket qualifiers. Central African Republic being introduced to the crowd. They've been to AfroBasket 19 times, including the last 9. However, they've not medalled since 1987, where they took gold. They were 11th last time out in 2017, picking up 1 win, and that was against Uganda. But it wasn't quite enough to get them out of the group stages of AfroBasket 2017. They'll be hoping to make that big step forward later this year when the tournament takes place in Kigali in Rwanda. Now for the home team, Tunisia. They've been wonderful hosts of our bubble here in Monastir this weekend. And what a team they are. 5th in the all-time AfroBasket medals table, 2 gold, 1 silver and 4 bronzes to their name. Probably most importantly, they were champions back in 2017 at the last AfroBasket, beating Nigeria in the final by 12. And some of those superstars are on show. We've seen Elmal Brook come out. Hadadan, another big star as well. And the moment Tunisia sit with that perfect 5-win, 0-loss record. And they'll want to close out qualification in style with a win. Salah Mejri coming out with a big smile on his face. He's had some big games this weekend. He'll love to finish it off with another one. We'll now have a break in proceedings as the national anthems for both the Central African Republic and Tunisia are played. scene is set for another big game of international basketball. Two great teams going up against each other. Last time they met was back in November in Kigali in Rwanda. Tunisia getting the better of that one, 80-63 in favour of Tunisia. Here are our officials for this evening: Antonio Bernardo, Mbaye Saï and Diallo Mahamadou from Angola, Senegal and Mali respectively. Great officiating crew. Some wonderful smiles before we get underway. Always good to see the officials enjoy themselves as much as the players do. As the players get into that final, almost psychological preparation, it's just as much as the physical preparation. Slimani, such an iconic figure. Certainly quite a few veterans within the Tunisian roster. Slimani, the veteran of veterans, 40 years of age. Here's your starting five: Abada El Malbrook, Ramdan, Slimani and Mejri. A wonderful roster with plenty of talent, and as I say, an absolute ton of experience within that. Some younger players on the bench. Number one there, Manawi, just 21 years of age. They're starting to bleed through some of the younger talent as well. I'm sure Slimani can't have too many more years left on those knees in the highest levels of basketball, but what a servant to the game he's been. As for the Central African Republic, plenty of experience in their roster as well. Ganapamo, Rabongo, Zaki, Gara and Jim Rabi. Impressive front court, that's for sure. Plenty of power, strength and experience in there. Interesting to see the Cozy come off the bench as well. Had a big game yesterday, 23 points, 10 rebounds in the win over Madagascar. Just 21 years of age. Exciting prospect for the future. Coach Marida, he'll be more than happy that qualification has already been secured and his team can go out and enjoy the game today. Don't get me wrong, how they'd love to take a win off Tunisia and break that unbeaten run that they're on. It would provide them with a huge amount of momentum going into AfroBasket later in the year, and from a player's perspective, they're obviously going to be fighting hard for spots. Let's jump into some of these huddles, listen to the final instructions from the coaching staff.
اوكي الاتاك الاولى ومن بعد تجير خطيت له واحد خليها تمشي تدور يا كوردو
En cours, je commence avec la transition flex. On a le 5 et on la short. Ok les gars, et en défense, on a homme à homme, pressing sur tout le terrain. Quand on traverse, on tombe en triangle. En triangle, on est là. Allez. N'oubliez pas, on tombe en triangle. Go. Bon match, on y va. Allez. 8, 11, 13 et le 15.
Remember, if you want to stay on top of AfroBasket, the final day of the qualifiers, but also the tournament later in the year, best place to go, FIBA.basketball/AfroBasket. Now I'm bringing everything you need. If you want to follow the box score along today, you can. Want to catch up on some of the highlights videos from some of the other games, you can. Plenty to get your teeth into on that site. Final pleasantries between both teams and the officials before we go to battle here for 40 minutes on the hardwood. As I say, qualification may not be at stake as both of these have secured that, but each player will be trying to earn their right to be at the tournament. AfroBasket 2021 qualifier away, and what a start. Mejri slaps the ball off the glass in the opening offense from the Central African Republic. There's a signal of intention from the big man. Abada hands it off to Ramadan. Good ball movement by Tunisia to start the game. Shot goes up, in and out from Slimani. Gara, wow, that's a confident start. 33-year-old just stepped straight up. Offensive foul's going to be called on Ramadan, as we see Zaki hit the floor pretty hard off the screen. Ramadan complaining at the officials. Let's have a look at the three from Kugara. That's a confident player. Step up with only a couple of seconds off the shot clock and take that kind of shot. Pulls up for another one, long two this time. And he's feeling it early. Averaging only 9.2 points and 5.4 rebounds per game. Had a qualifiers high in game day 4. 21.7 rebounds in that one. Foul's going to be blown on Yannick Zaki. He pays a little bit too much attention to Abada. Elmar Brook inbounds the ball to Abada. Abada trying to use the Mejri screen. Instead has to hand it off to Ramadan. Fades away. Foul's going to get called. Rabongo is going to get whistled for that one. He took the stand, but then he took the step forward. He got drawn in by Ramadan. So that's the right call from the officials. That will send Makram Ramadan to the free throw line. 62% from the free throw line through the qualifiers. So not great. You'll have wanted more. Had a good game yesterday against Democratic Republic of Congo. Double-double, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Also snaffled away 3 steals as well. The veteran big man. This is both free throw attempts though. Tunisia remain pointless. With almost 90 seconds of the first quarter gone. Jim Rabe comes up short. Good rebound and followed by Grabongo though. Kugara, short range 2 is good again. And the Central African Republic have 7, and so does Max Kugara. And the first point's on the board as Abada puts a finger roll off the glass. It's taken them almost 2 minutes to score though. Zaki hits the 2, and the Central African Republic have started the game in fine form, hitting some big shots from range. Mejri takes the big steps in the paint. Extends out those long legs and draws the foul from Jim Rabe. There's the pass. He uses his steps. He's almost north of the free throw line when he picked up. It's the first of his 2. .6 rebounds and most impressively 5 blocks in yesterday's game against Democratic Republic of Congo for Salah Mejri. Kugara. That's his first miss of the game. Mejri's going to knock it out of bounds, so it will remain Central African Republic ball. Smile on his face. A little bit easier to let those calls go when you've already qualified, I suppose. Not get so upset. And Apamo no good. Rebound from Ramadan. Relatively free-flowing game to start with. Abada will pull the trigger on the 3. You could see by his body language. He wasn't comfortable with that, though. That wasn't the shot he particularly wanted, but because he was so wide open, felt almost obliged to take it. Zaki, good ball movement, rotated well into the corner. That's off target, though. Mejri will scoop up the long rebound. Rare that you see Salah Mejri so far away from the basket on the defensive end. Mejri direct to the basket. No score this time, though. Zaki for three. Comes up short, and that's going to spark Tunisia's offense. Abada slows it down, hands it off to Romdan, and there's an easy two for Makram Romdan. That brings Tunisia to within three. A little over 3.5 minutes gone in the first quarter, and there's the pass fake that just creates enough of a lane for him to exploit. Coach Marida has called a timeout for the Central African Republic. Let's jump into his huddle.
En fait, quand je m'arrête sur le gars, c'est parce que je suis en retard, je suis pris dans l'écran. Pour ça, il faut pas éviter. Non mais écoute, c'est parce que je suis pris dans l'écran une carte. Donc en fait, pour éviter qu'il descende directement sur le roll, je freine sa route, mais toi, reprends-le. Si jamais il hésite, il fait un petit recul. Moi, je récupère.
Les gars, allez les gars. Je dis, quoi qu'il arrive, restez concentrés. Ça, c'est un. On reste dans notre chemin, c'est-à-dire on joue comment? Ordonné. On sort un peu dans notre mécanisme. Ça, c'est 2. Et 3, les gars, Jim, pas d'aide. Pas d'aide chez les grands. Reste avec lui. En fait, ouvre pour Yannick.
Some of the highlight plays from the opening phase, and most of them coming out of the hands of the number 13 for the Central African Republic, Mats Kugara. 7 points already. 3 from 4 from the field. It's good to make sure your laces are tied. Central African Republic back up and running. They lead by 3 in the early stages. Remember, Tunisia looking to hold on to their perfect record. They want to complete qualification without losing a game. Jim Rabe now going up against Mejri. Good use of the pivot, but Mejri stays in front of him. Shot clock down to 4. Zaki's going to have to put something up. Puts the 3 up. Pulls at it. There's good defense in the end from Tunisia. And another strong rebound from Romdan. Al Brook feeds Abada. Tunisia always such a fluid, team-focused offense. As I say that, Romdan misses the pass to Mejri. Salah Mejri, one of those players that always plays the game with a smile on his face. Well, I say always, most of the time. Ganapamo on the baseline is fouled by El Malbrook. Let's have a look. It's an arm bar. It's a pushing arm bar, though, by the call of the officials. First foul called on El Malbrook. Second team foul of the quarter on Tunisia. Central African Republic have 3. Zaki almost falls out of bounds, gets it back into Ganapamo. Tunisian defense is high intensity right now. Shot goes up, is no good. Jim Rabe with the rebound. And Zaki will slow things down. Traveling violation called on Kugea. Halfway stage of this first quarter, and Tunisia's offense being kept at bay. They've only scored 6. Thankfully for them, the Central African Republic themselves have only scored 9. Romdan looking to back his way to the bucket. Does so, but the defense is strong enough to put him off. Pamo goes baseline, fades away and hits a tough fading away jumper along the baseline. Abada, he's up short. Central African Republic lead by 5. They'll be happy with what they've done so far, particularly on the defensive end. Ganapamo again, almost a mirror of the last offense, this side from the right. Hits the mid-range baseline jumper, just creates enough space. That first step is almost a shortened step, but it's quick. There's the fadeaway, the turnaround on the last play. And that's given the Central African Republic an impressive 7-point lead. Timeout called by Tunisia. Let's listen into their huddle.
Donc هوني il faut harceler le joueur. لا لا معاك on est en train de bien défendre mais on doit harceler dribble الاولاني بكيفيه ما يمشيش للبروفوندور ما يقدمش خليه يتحل لاتيرال السؤال لين دو فون ولا للسونتر ما خليش يمشي للبروفوندور هذاك في الشيء الاول ولحد الان ما عملوا حتى درايف للبانيه للاخر كلهم الريتير دونك اون ايساي دو لي رامني فير لا لين دو فون ولا للسونتر با بلوس كو سا اوكي في الاتاك كلوا اكثر فيف حاولوا تلوجوا تمشيوا للبانيه اكثر من الشوط اوكي هاي هوني لو
Here's the replay of that wonderful turnaround jumper along the baseline. To be fair, he's being guarded very well by Elmal Brook, but he just extends above the outreached arm, gets it to go. Here's the second play. Maybe you could criticise Elmal Brook for giving a bit too much space that time, but Ganapamo doing a great job. 4 points to his name. His first 2 buckets of the game, back to back. And the Central African Republic now have a 7-point lead with 6 minutes played. Elmal Brook, no good. Good box out by Glabongo. Zaki with the spin, lane opens up. Kuga nails another big shot. Unbelievably, he's up to double digits in this first quarter, Max Kuga. Chanufi inside, it's blocked away, but he's fouled. Chanufi will head to the line for 2 free throws. As we see a replay, good ball movement, quick ball movement, and that's the key. That said, Kugara didn't exactly have an open shot, but he still nailed it. What a weekend he's having. 21 points, 7 rebounds on Friday. Already has 10 points and a rebound to his name today. As we see, Slimani sitting on the bench at the moment. Chanufi at the line. Connects with both. Brings the Central African Republic lead down to just 8 points now. A little over 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Brongo waves away his teammates, asks for Jim Rabe to come round. Quick first step by Jim Rabe. Is it enough to get past Mejri? It's enough to cause Salah Mejri issues. An intimidating figure to go at the basket against Mejri. Such wingspan. And Jim Rabe, if he's going to get points today when Mejri's on the floor, it's likely to be from the free throw line. That's going to be the best outcome. Try and draw some fouls off the iconic Tunisian centre. Jim Rabe averaging 7.6 points, 6.6 rebounds per game. had a double-double in game day 2 against Madagascar. Misses a second of his 3 throws though, so Central African Republic's lead is held at 9. Mel Brook, strong, direct and aggressive to the basket. And when you're struggling offensively, often a good tactic is almost to be a bit blunt about your offense. Just go straight down the throat of the other team, try and create something, either the score or maybe draw the foul. Rabongo with the spin, and Mejri's going to pull the foul on him. Janoufi now hands it off to Abada, and it just feels just slightly like Tunisia are starting to find a couple of gears. Maybe a little bit of a hangover start. As I say that, they're going to turn the ball over. Abada, I think, called for the offensive foul. Both teams now in the penalty, so the next foul for either team is going to send someone to the line. Tunisia will make the change as Gonouni will come into the game. Mel Brook will come out. He's quite frustrated. Always the way, though, you come into the game off the back of a big performance the night before, hoping to carry that momentum forward, and when you have a stuttering start, it's not easy. Rabongo also going to the bench for the Central African Republic as Ngoy comes in. Cozy's actually come in. As I said, 23 points, 10 rebounds yesterday. Just 21 years of age. Another foul called on Tunisia. Ashraf Gonouni's first marking onto the box score is going to be the foul. And they're in the penalty. So that will send Zaki to the line for 2 shots. Only 38% from the free throw line in these qualifiers. Yannick Zaki. That's the young man. Dukosi, just 21 years old, averaging 13.6 points per game, 7.2 rebounds. And as we see, an air ball, I think, from the free throw line. And the woes for Central African Republic from the free throw line continue. Now Zaki will come out of the game. In his place comes Nganafio Sokambi. What can Tunisia do to change the tide? Because at the moment, things are going against them. Romdan to Abada. Abada looking to take on Aganafio straight away. A couple more changes for the Central African Republic. Ganapamo will come out of the game. Lango comes in for his first taste of the action today. As Abada connects from the free throw line. Nearly automatic, 93%. There's your commentator's curse. Thankfully he shrugs it off and scores the second as well. Rabe now heads to the bench. As Tunisia apply a 2-2-1 press. Dukosi looking to find a lane, nothing there at the moment. He's still going to go back at it though, draws the foul. Just pure persistence from Alain Julien Dukosi. Ganouni going to get called for his second foul. Only been on the floor for a minute or so. Dukosi rattles home the first of his two. And the second. Central African Republic's lead back up to 7. 1 minute 22 left in this first quarter. An interesting first quarter. Tunisia really struggling offensively at the moment, whilst the Central African Republic are finding a way to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Abada got the space, lane opens up, draws the defenders, hands it to Ramadan for 3. Could this final 90 seconds of the quarter be a big one for Tunisia? Dukosi now straight down the lane to Ramadan. He tries to bail at the last second but throws the pass away. Abada going to draw the foul. The right idea from Owango, but unfortunately poorly executed. Couldn't quite get his feet set in time. That's going to give Abada the chance. Yeah, clearly moving laterally when the contact is made. There's the 3 from Ramadan. Abada rattles the first of his 2 free throws. It's the second. Personal tally up to 6, but more importantly for Tunisia, they're within 2. Bugala. Nice pass to Dukosi with the easy score. And when Mejri's off the floor, the rim protection for Tunisia just isn't quite the same. Sorry, when Mejri's out of the paint even, and that's the key. You have to draw him away from the ring. Shot goes up. It's short. Rebound is eventually won by Jefferson, but he's tied up. Jump ball's going to be called. Smart play by Abada. Jefferson needs to be smarter with that. Needs to rip through and lock the ball in, so the only option really is to foul him. Four-point lead now for the Central African Republic. Final seconds of this first quarter. Abada kicks it out. Ramadan doesn't take the shot. He's going to have to put a prayer up now. Fade away from the elbow. No joy. And that will be the last action of the first quarter. Interesting first quarter. The unbeaten Tunisian team slightly on the back foot. 10 minutes down. Central African Republic 21, Tunisia 17. 30 more minutes ahead of us of what looks like it's going to be an exciting game. Here are your shooting stats. Neither team lighting it up from outside, most of the work being done close to the basket. Tunisia having 10 free throws though in that first quarter. Unsustainable for the Central African Republic, that figure. Here are some of the highlights from that first quarter. That was the opening play with Mejri just slapping it away off the glass. Almost a signature move for the big man. But really the story of the first phase of play was Max Gugala just hitting shot after shot after shot, finding his range and getting his eye in very early on in the game. Was happy to step in for the little short-range jumpers, was happy to step back and hit some big shots. And Tunisia's scoring was slow to get started, but they eventually did get things started and get things moving. They still trail by 4 though at the end of the first quarter, slightly against the expectations of the form book. Remember, when these two met previously, Tunisia came out 80-63 winners. That said, Tunisia left it to the third quarter to blow that game open. They scored 32 points in the third quarter in that one, and that really was the breaker of that game. Second action underway here in the AfroBasket 2021 qualifier between the Central African Republic and Tunisia. 10 minutes down, and the Central African Republic lead by 4. Dekosi floats one in, doesn't get it, gets his own rebound. Recycles the ball out, and Ganapamo's gonna drain the big three. Really confident from range, the Central African Republic team. Foul's gonna be called on Owango. That's his second. First team foul of the quarter. We've only had 28 seconds though. Clear foul, easy for the officials to call. Abada going up against Owango again. There's the lob, knocked away, not far enough. Abada gets the easy score in the end. Brings Tunisia back to within 5. Another three goes up. This one's short. Rebounding is going to be won by sheer determination from Owango. Puts it up a 3. No joy. And you have to give credit to the Central African Republic. They play with such confidence, and it really helps their performance. Janufi off target with that attempt. Once again, Tunisia dropped back into a 2-3 zone. Baseline cut from Owango just as the ball moves to the other side, though. Their timing's slightly off at the moment. Nice follow by Jefferson. Recycles it back out. That shot's going to be off target, and the Central African Republic shooting touch slightly leaving them at the moment. Mejri with the easy score as he barrels his way to the basket. Brings Tunisia to within 1 possession now. There's a feed to the low post. Dekosi trying to shake up Mejri, steps back, hits the jumper, and that's what you need to do against a player of Salah Mejri's status. You need to get him slightly off balance, and it's unlikely you're going to score right near the basket. You need to step him back out a little bit. Oh, big rejection by Jefferson. He followed that perfectly. Dekosi! Oh, he looked to put Mejri on a poster, but Mejri says, no way, young man, not this time. Tunisia go the other end of the floor and get the score. And you can see Mejri looking at Dekosi. Here's a replay. No respect for his elders at all from Alain-Julien Dekosi, but Mejri was saying, I think you've forgotten who I am. Swats it away, and Janufi gets down the other end of the floor for the easy score. Yet another big defensive play for Mejri as he has a little word with Dekosi on his way off the floor. Not yet, young man. Not yet, young gun. I'm not passing the mantle over just yet. Owango, no joy. Elmal Brook hands it back to Romdan. Elmal Brook jumps inside. Good quick ball movement into the hands of Janufi for another. And he is starting to warm up nicely. 7 points personal for Zaid Janufi. Ganafeo comes back out to Ganapamo. Nice pass inside. And this is where the Central African Republic need to make hay. Mejri's come out of the game, so the rim protection's been removed from Tunisia. Now's Central African Republic's opportunity to get to the basket. They lead by 2. Ball kicked out. Giaza looks to hand it inside. Should have taken a shot, really. Janufi fades away. That's a tough shot off the glass. Romdan with the rebound. No joy again. scrappy possession, but Central African Republic come away with it, and there's a two-handed flush from Dakosi. Does the chin up and brings the roar. Central African Republic back out to a 4-point lead. Good ball movement. Chanufi short this time. Where's the rebound falling? Back into the hands of Tunisia. Wonderful second quarter so far. 4.5 minutes already gone. El Malbrook and Dakosi pulls a rebound down, but wonderful vision from Giaza to steal it away. El Malbrook, soft right hand, not soft enough. You could see almost a bit of indecision as he approached the basket. Wasn't sure whether he was going to keep going or whether he was going to pull up for a bit of a teardrop. Alango is off target. A bit frenetic the last minute or so of action here in Tunisia. Neither team really controlling the action. Ramadan, little step to the side to create the space, but can't get the score. Almost stolen away, but Giaza just about holds on to it. Ramadan, as the lane opens up for him, gets the score. Tunisia back within 2. Ganafao draws the foul off Giaza. And here's the big finish from Dakosi. Does the chin up. 21-year-old loves to play the game above the rim. Ganafao no good with the first of his 2 free throws. Averaging 3.3 points per game. One of those role players that every team needs, though. A little over a rebound a game, an assist a game. Playing just shy of 13 minutes. Comes in and does a job. Tunisia being harassed as they bring it up over the half. El Malbrook gives it up, and guess what? Airway Dakosi again with the reverse this time. Having his own personal dunk contest here in Tunisia. Julien Dakosi. Look at the wrestling match taking place at the moment. I'm not sure what game Nambe is playing, but it's certainly not basketball. Officials asking El Malbrook to calm down. Not sure he's really to blame at the moment. Here's the replay. Clear the runways. As Dakosi throws down the reverse. Sweet, sweet play. He's certainly enjoying the game. And it looks like Nambe is just determined to annoy El Malbrook rather than play some basketball, which is a shame because we've had a good game so far, a technically good game, rather than a psychological tit for tat. Abada now. Nice pass inside, selfless act as he passes it out. Chanufi can't get the score though as the shot clock expires, but Tunisia will go again. Now to Ramadan, he's short. It's off Zaki's foot, I think, so it's going to remain Tunisian ball. And as it stands, Tunisia just cannot get a foothold in the game. They're not used to being on the back foot like this so much. I think a final warning has been given. I'm not sure if it was to Tunisia or to the Central African Republic, maybe both teams, for moaning at the officials. El Malbrook, no good. And Apamo with the rebound. There's the lob pass. Oh my goodness, that would have been unreal if that had connected. Ganamana no good. Abada. A foul's going to be called as Jefferson was really cleared out the way by Giazza, I think. Giazza's going to head to the bench with his second foul. Just Tunisia's second team foul of the quarter, though. Mejri's come back in. Jefferson heads to the bench for the Central African Republic. Jimrabe is into the action in his place. Also back for the Central African Republic is Kugea. Almost stolen away. Nimbe in and out. And Mejri straight into the action with a defensive rebound. Kanufi now. There's the pass inside to Mejri, and he finishes it, but the foul's going to be called. An offensive foul, I think. Let's have a look, see what the decision from the official is. I think El Malbrook has been blown for his third foul. I'm not going to see it here, I don't think. It's in the background. Malbrook and Zaki getting caught up with one another. Now Malbrook is frustrated with the officials, needs to be careful, doesn't want to pick up a fourth foul, that's for sure. What a shame, because that was a wonderful finish from Mejri. Would have been a dead cert for the highlight reels, and that one's been blown away. Kugea inside now. Jimrabe going up against Mejri. This is a fun battle to watch. Loses his footing slightly and has it stolen away. Kanufi now. Oh, nice reverse layup, no good. Ramdan couldn't go straight back up, so he'll have to come back out. Mejri for three. Oh, string music for the big man from downtown. Puts the guns back in the holsters. Hugolan now is no good, and Central African Republic are looking a little bit fractured at the moment. Tunisia back within one. 90 seconds left. As Nambe is called for the foul. Let's have a look at the replay. Mejri stepping out for the big triple. His first three of the qualifiers. Timeout's been called with 1 minute 29 left in this first half. A really interesting battle between two very good teams with some real talent within their rosters. Let's jump into the Central African Republic huddle and see what Coach Marida has to say.
La seule chose que je vais vous dire, c'est quoi? On prend des options rapides en attaque. Pourquoi on est pressé? Pourquoi on traverse automatiquement au tir? On cherche, les gars. Il a dit quoi? Short. Non, on est là. Le pivot est là. On doit se positionner normalement. Il vient, il pose l'écran ici.
Some of the highlights in the last few phases of play. And Tunisia have certainly started coming back into the action now, starting to gradually find their feet in the game. Not the usual form we see from Tunisia, that's for sure. Abada leading the way with 8 points, 100% from the free throw line as well. Certainly doing his job. As is Salah Mejri. 7 points, 3 rebounds. It'll be a sideline ball for Tunisia now. Opportunity for them to take the lead. Floats to the basket. It's going to be waved away though. Presumably the shot will be on the floor beforehand, and that's Nambe with a second quick foul called against him. Fourth team foul of the quarter for the Central African Republic. Third foul on Nambe now as well. Ganuni drives to the basket, has to come out, it's stolen though. Central African Republic at the races, and a finish from Zaki as Mejri was bowing down on him. Mejri steps in bounds and is going to turn it over. Mejri arguing the case, but the official's absolutely right. Once you've left the floor, can't come back in with the ball, that's for sure. Central African Republic now with a 3-point lead as we're almost in the final minute of this first half. A little bit of physicality between Slimani and Zaki. But, an additional player on the floor as Nambe was there. Figala now to put possession in. Does so to Jim Rabe. Figala now with possession, looking to find a way through. Slimani with good quick hands. Out at the races. An offensive foul is going to be called, or is it just a straight out of bounds call from Chanufi? I think it is. Chanufi just throwing the ball straight out of bounds, not finding his teammate at all. So it'll be a sideline possession for the Central African Republic, who have brought Julien Dakosi onto the floor. This is going to be a fun battle between him and Salah Mejri. There's a story that's going to keep on giving. 54.4 seconds left here in the second quarter. Telegraph pass, easy to pick out from Ramdan. But Abada just not sure in his progression of the ball. Needed to be more confident, more aggressive the way he approached the basket. Tunisia will maintain possession though, but on the baseline. Chanufi looking for options, gets it to Somani. Abada. Mejri, too heavy this time, but it's going to fall straight back into his hands. He hands it off, and the foul's going to be called on Jim Rabe as he catches Chanufi on the side of the face. Goes over and checks that he's okay. Certainly not an arm you want to feel hitting you on the side of the face. Not the smallest of men, Jim Rabe. Central African Republic and Coach Marida would be so happy to enter the halftime locker room with a 3-point lead against the unbeaten Tunisians. Chanufi hits the first of his 2 free throws. Takes his personal tally up to 8 now, along with 2 rebounds and 1 assist. It's the second as well. Who knows, maybe Tunisia could actually be in the lead at the halftime break. That would be a crazy thought right now. Zaki, Central African Republic. Double dribble's been called on Zaki. Tough to see. It was under the score graphic from our camera position, so we weren't able to see that one. Timeout's been called, but Tunisia now have the opportunity to be in the lead at the halftime break. And if they were, it would be their first lead of the game, unbelievably. 10.7 seconds left in the quarter. Let's jump into the Tunisian huddle.
On aura besoin d'espace, ok? حلو لو ماكسيموم. طلع الكرة ديريكت بيك في الاكس والاخرين اون ايكار. يا بوردو متفاهمين تويكارد زياد بعد الاكرون الاولاني. انا فوق منهم غادي فارده. ما تنساش عندهم لي 5 فوت على ليميت نجيبوا فوت على ليميت.
There's a replay of that reverse flush by Dakosi and the Mejri triple. Big man only highlights here. Not what we usually see from Mejri, but he certainly enjoyed it. Okay, can Tunisia take the lead going into the half-time break? 10.7 seconds to play with. What can they do? Mejri will take the three. It will come up short. And probably deservedly so. The Central African Republic will make their way to the locker room at half-time with a lead. Although the slimmest of leads. They've led by 10 at one stage in the game. They now lead by just a single point here in Tunisia at half-time. Central African Republic 34, Tunisia 33. A very interesting AfroBasket qualifier unfolding before our eyes. There are your shooting statistics. Neither team shooting well from outside. Identical shooting percentages, but the Central African Republic just getting it done inside. Rebounding battle being won by Tunisia. No real surprise there when you've got Mejri on your team. Here are the top scorers. Chanufi with 9, Abada with 8, and Ramadan with 7 Tunisia. Dakosi 10, Kugala 10, and Ganapamo with 7 for the Central African Republic. Here are some of the highlights from that first half of action, and plenty of highlights from that opening play all the way through to the half-time buzzer. But what an interesting game we have had here. The Central African Republic, they just came out of the blocks faster, and that's really been the tale of the first half. Started very, very well, had a 4-point lead at the end of the first quarter, poured in 21 points on Tunisia. That's not something they're used to in these qualifiers, that's for sure. One of the better defenses in the competition, Tunisia. They're only shipping 56.8 points per game against them, so to score 21 points in a quarter is a very good job. That said, clearly Tunisia made some corrections in that second quarter, holding the Central African Republic to just 13 points. However, the Central African Republic's defense has been pretty consistent. They gave Tunisia the opportunity to score 17 in the first, 16 in the second, and that's why we sit at the halfway stage with a 1-point lead for the Central African Republic. Remember, Tunisia at the moment are unbeaten in these qualifiers. 5 wins out of 5 for the Central African Republic. They've won 3 and lost 2. One of those losses was the first game against Tunisia, where they lost by 17. So making amends for that would be great for the Central African Republic, and it really would be a statement after their qualification yesterday to then take the scalp of one of the most historic and iconic names in African basketball. But there's still 20 minutes ahead of us, so there's no way you would make a big claim of an upset just yet. Too much talent, too much experience in the Tunisian roster to be able to say that the Central African Republic are on the track for a big win here today. You couldn't say that just yet. Plenty of action still ahead of us here in this AfroBasket qualifier. Remember, both these teams have qualified, but for individual players like Dakosi, the goal now is to be one of those 12 players selected to represent your country at the tournament later in the year. A real honor in any pro player's career is to represent your country at the highest level. And for these players, being on the plane to Rwanda for AfroBasket 2021 would be one of the most iconic moments in their careers. Tunisia will go there expecting a medal. Let's have a look at some of the big performers in this first half of action. And the hat tip has to go to Chanufi. 9 points, perfect from the free throw line, 4 from 4. Only 2 from 7 from the field though, so not the most efficient 9 points, but at the moment there aren't a huge number of efficient players on the Tunisian team. They've started their way through the first half, but Chanufi has played well. And it's his positional sense on the floor. He spreads the floor well, which creates the space for his shots. He's not getting dragged into places that he shouldn't be. You can see again, he's holding firm in position. He's not overly reacting to the development of the play. He knows it's going to come his way. Good first half for Chanufi with those 9 points. Now for the leading scorer for the Central African Republic, Kugara, 10 points. And they came within the first quarter. He started the game like a man possessed. Just stepped straight into that three early on within the shot clock for that one as well, but then was quite happy just to let it rain. He'd found his range early, got his eye in, and Tunisia certainly paid the price. He's one of those players, though, that can catch fire and score in a hurry. Second quarter, he quietened down an awful lot. But 10 points at the end of the half is a good performance from him. Certainly building on Friday's 21 points against the Democratic Republic of Congo. Expect more from him, though. Influential part of this Central African Republic roster. Kugara, at the moment, it's all coming from the jump shot, but he knows how to get to the bucket as well. Keep your eye on him for the second half. But at the halfway stage here in Tunisia, Central African Republic 34, Tunisia 33.
Got to keep moving the ball because shot clock's running down. And they attack. And the throw down! Big time play by Joel Awich. What a ball game here in AfroBasket Qualifier. Watch this, high flying.
Baseline, the quick release for the three is no good. And here come the Central Republic again. Easy to throw that one down. Ukasi hit the runway and threw it down hard. Ukasi on the runway with a reverse slam. Mahontan gets them into the half court. Rasna Mehanina has to throw up a prayer. Oh! And that guy from the halfway line pretty much, with no time on the shot clock.
Going from bad to worse for the team in red with the yellow numbers. Mulari gets down and throws it through the hoop. The slam. Boy, he's having a good time, isn't he?
Have Kenya got anything left in the tank? They played so well. It's been an incredible performance. A long two is good. Unreal. Extraordinary play. Kenya have beaten Angola at the buzzer.
Against the odds, the Central African Republic hold a lead at the half-time break. It is only a single point. They have led by as much as 10 points in that first half. And that's down to just a single point. Tunisia yet to have any lead in the game whatsoever. Their leader, Chanufi, with 9 points. Ramdam has 7 rebounds, and Ganouni has 2 assists so far. Expect an increase in intensity from the Tunisian team in this second half. Plenty of experience, a real veteran roster on the floor. They've already qualified for AfroBasket 2021, but they have a perfect record on the table at the moment. 5 wins out of 5. Surely they want that to be 6 wins out of 6. That gives them real momentum, heading in as maybe one of the favourites to AfroBasket 2021. But how the Central African Republic would like to take the scalp of a historic, iconic name in African international basketball, such as Tunisia. Chanufi, big first half, and there's nothing glamorous about the way he's gone about that first half. He's done the basketball basics, but he's done them well, spacing the floor, creating the passing lane to get to him, and when he's had the opportunity, he's made it count. The Central African Republic, they'll be happy that they have the lead at the half, but they'll also be aware that they've let Tunisia come back into it. They were up by 10 at one stage, so to only be up by 1 at the half is going to be slightly disappointing, but also it's going to keep them on their toes, which might be a good thing as well. They've had some big performances in that first half. Bikosi, 21 years of age, playing like an absolute superstar in these qualifiers. He's got 10 points. Grabongo's leading them in rebounds with 4, and Jim Rabe has an assist to his name as well. Majority of the scoring from the Central African Republic has come from those mid-range jumpers. Uganda also has 10 points from that first half. He scored his 10 in the first quarter, so went a little bit quiet in the second quarter, but he came out of the blocks on fire. First chance he had, he just stepped up and hit a big 3 to get his account, to get the scoring rolling for the Central African Republic. Currently second in the table with a 3-win, 2-loss record. Wouldn't it be great for them if they were to finish qualification 4 wins, 2 losses, breaking the Tunisian unbeaten run? That would give them real impetus, confidence almost, arrogance maybe, entering AfroBasket 2021. Not always a bad thing to enter those kind of tournaments with a belief that you can achieve. And remember, the other aspect of this is ranking points. The draw for these continental tournaments that we're going to have are based on ranking points. So AfroBasket, what pot seed you're going to be, well, no doubt lean on where your ranking is within your region, where you are ranked globally. So every win wins you those elusive ranking points and maybe helps you towards an easier run within the tournament. Ultimately, you're more than likely going to have to play the tough teams at some point. But having a slightly easier group can sometimes be good to find your feet early in those kind of tournaments. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've still got 20 minutes of action ahead of us here. Coach Marida going to have some final words with his team. Let's see if we can jump in and have a sneaky listen into what he has to say.
On participe le rebond à 5. Ne partez pas avant, il y a des balles mortes, là on doit intervenir, on doit chercher. On doit tomber, on doit aller chercher les gars. Ok? Et les meneurs, organiser le jeu en attaque. On n'a pas besoin d'être pressé pour perdre la balle inutilement. On pose le jeu, on circule, on cherche notre option pour avoir la personne qu'il faut pour essayer de déclencher le mouvement. Si c'est 5 là, on va jusqu'au bout. Ok? Mais les gars, moi je crois une seule chose, la transition. Ça marche. Rebond, transition. On court, on les amène à courir. Ok? Rappelez-vous du point de départ. Ça marche? Maintenant, jamais. Les 5 du départ, on est prêts. Allez les gars, allez.
The team are ready to go for the Central African Republic as Tunisia, their 5 are the first back on the floor. A huge amount of experience in this Tunisian roster, that's for sure. Hundreds and hundreds of international caps between them. Second half action underway here. Monastir, Tunisia. Last day of this qualification bubble. At the halfway stage, Central African Republic have a 34-33 lead over Tunisia. Tunisia's perfect qualification record at stake. Shot goes up, in and out. Big rebound by Ramdan, and that is the first lead of the game for Tunisia. And what a time for it to happen. First play out of the locker room. Tunisia take their first lead. Stolen away, Ramdan back-to-back big plays. Abada now. Slightly more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed version of Tunisia have emerged out of the locker room by the way they're playing so far. Mejri throws it straight out of bounds. Good defense from Grabongo. Mejri hobbling his way back down, landed quite hard on that right knee. Stolen away, Ramdan with another big play. That's 3 big possessions for Makram Ramdan. Abada looking for options in front of him. He'll pull the trigger on a long 2. It's a bit heavy. Rebound is going to be chased down by Mejri. Looks to float inside. Blocking foul is going to be called on Kugar, who looked to step across but was still moving. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, just leaning slightly, wasn't he? I think he'd made his mind up that he was going to draw the charge by hook or by crook. And he had to just lean to draw it. Mejri now at the free throw line for 2 free throws. Certainly no more for his defensive prowess, Salah Mejri. Misses the first free throw attempt. He had 5 blocks in the game against the Democratic Republic of Congo yesterday. He has 2 so far here today. It's the second. Tunisia's lead up to a game-high 2 points. And they double team on the press. Grabongo, though, Euro steps his way to the basket. Mejri doesn't understand why the call's been made, pretty much because it was in the basket when he hit it. It wasn't sitting above the hoop. Technical foul has been called on Mejri. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, I think it was in the basket and he kind of hit the top of the ball. Mejri's still not happy with the call. He needs to be careful. He's already had 1 technical. A second would see him thrown out. At the line is Ganapamo to take the technical free throw. Misses the first. It'll be a baseline ball. Game tied, 36 apiece. 8:18 left in this third quarter. Limited number of fans allowed into the arena here today, and they're making themselves heard. Mejri puts up the 3. Rebound pulled in by Zaki. Vigala now feeds Jimrabe. Low post, going to work against Mejri. Steps back, puts it high off the glass with the right hand. It was a good move, but the hook shot was just a little heavy-handed. Slides to the basket. And the Pamo completely lost his bearings almost there. Lucky not to get injured on the landing. Bigada picks up the loose ball. There's the pass inside of Jim Rabe. Once again, Ramadan with the vision, with the IQ for the steal. Chanufi in and out with the three though. And Pamo behind the back. There's the pass. Gurabongo, good defense by Mejri. There's his third block of the game. Slimani, catch and shoot. Corner pocket three is good. Radwan Slimani, 40 years old, still knows how to drop the three. Shooting over 40% from range in the qualifiers. Bigada got a mismatch now against Mejri. He's got the foot speed on him, looks to blast past him. Mejri does well, and the shot clock's going to expire. Mejri is happy with the defensive effort from his team. Bigada puts his hand up and says, "It's on me." Didn't see the shot clock. Tunisia lead by 3. 6.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. The fans that are in the arena are enjoying this. And it's a Tunisian ball on the sideline. Ramadan with the strangest of plays as Dukosi just steals it away and throws it down. Really strange feeling about this game. The flow, the decisions some players are making. Mejri dribbles past, looks to throw it up. He's rejected by Dukosi. It's boiling up nicely here in Tunisia. Let's hope it doesn't boil over. Tempers are starting to flare. There's the players. Ramadan looked to try and pass it in through the legs of Dukosi, and he just picked it up and threw it down. Let's hope this game stays on simmer rather than full boil. Ramadan off the glass. Good defense by Kuga. Just took the charge almost. Hands it off. Ganapamo throws it down with a monster one hand. Wonderful pass from Dukosi. Physicality of the game continues to go up levels. Offensive foul going to be called on Ramadan. Stepped across and pushed his hip. Absolutely, that's an offensive foul. There's the handoff, and there's the finish. Pamo. Dukosi for three, not his game particularly. Hasn't hit a three in the qualifiers yet. Abada drives the baseline, hands it off to Slimani. The basket's going to be given. Dukosi called for the foul. He bit on the shot fake. Slimani will head to the free throw line for the bonus shot. Have a look at the replay. Hands it off. Continuation called on the play. 5.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Tunisia lead by a single point. Slimani takes his personal tally to 6, doubles Tunisia's lead to 2. Travelling violation called on Dukosi, and the young man is starting to show a little bit of inexperience. An absolute ton of potential. An absolute kit bag full of athleticism. But nothing can replace minutes on the hardwood at the highest level. Abada, hits the three. Tunisia are starting to put their foot down a little bit. This is the first sign we've seen in today's game of the Tunisia we know. They're in a 3-2 zone now as well. Zaki, right hand float, nice and soft. Gets the score, silences the crowd slightly in the arena. They're starting to play their part. Mejri, way downtown. There's a man with a serious amount of personal confidence to shoot that, particularly when you're not a shooter. Zaki drives inside, Jim Rabe, short corner jumper. It's no good. Abada now. Mejri. Slimani looking to shake, puts the three up. That's off target as well, and both teams falling into a little bit of a scrappy phase. Benapamo now being guarded by Mejri. Puts the three up, comes up short. Not the smartest of moves. He's drawn Mejri out of the rim protector position. Should have moved the ball quickly and enable one of his teammates to capitalize on the space in the paint. Now Malbrook hands it off. Ramdan gets the score. He's up to 13 points now. Sorry, 11 points. That's his double-double. 11 points, 10 rebounds for Makram Ramdan. Kugala. And another rebound for Ramdan. Tunisia out to a 5-point lead. Hands off, Mejri loses the handle, but it's stolen back by Abada, who will slow things down. Shot clock at 8 into the final 3 minutes of this third quarter. Abada with the wedgie. All wedged in between the ring and the backboard. A classic wedgie, really. Short range jumper, flat trajectory. Only going to end one way. Here's a replay of that Ramdan score from the last game. Let's jump into this Tunisia huddle and hear what the coaching staff have to say.
Ils sont en 3-2, ils sont en zone. Non, 3-2, vous annoncez rien. On joue quoi? Qu'est-ce que vous avez annoncé? Les maillots là. Hein? On se positionne. Il est là. On se positionne ici.
Tunisia have outscored the Central African Republic 14-8 here in the third quarter. And this is what they did to them in the reverse of this match. Back in November, they had a 32-point third quarter. Ramdan, double-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds. It's just what he does. Just gets the job done. Plays with such passion as well. Loves representing Tunisia. Jefferson going to work against Ramdan. Hands it off to Dakosi. He's come up short, and Mejri pulls down the rebound. Ramdan looking to go to the basket, but comes back with it to Abada. Mejri, no good. Rebound again by Ramdan. Throws it back out. And Tunisia just keep coming in waves. Malbrook, Ramdan, Slimani in the corner. Travels with the ball. Not sure he agrees. That's the call. Almost stolen away. Dami into the game for the first time. Almost gets the steal. As Tunisia sit in a 2-3 zone. The Central African Republic have the shooters on the floor. It's rotating around though, so they are flexing almost out to a 3-2. Shot goes up. And the basketball gods are looking kindly on Yannick Zaki as he nails the jumper off the glass. Not a pretty shot, but 2 points is 2 points. Measuring now, a couple of spin moves, good defense by Jondre Jefferson is enough to put him off. Ugada looks to hand it off to Jefferson. Dukosi is thrown to the floor. Still lying down there. Back on his feet now. Coach Marida not happy. Mejri will head to the bench for Tunisia. Into the game comes Giaza. Brook. No good. Dukosi with the rebound. Final minute now of this third quarter. The game slightly turned in favour of Tunisia, but not massively. Dukosi hands it inside. Jefferson fluffs his lines, doesn't get the score. And the foul is going to be called. And Jefferson just didn't explode high enough. Didn't have the ups. And fluffed the dunk. Foul was called on Dukosi. 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Tunisia lead by 3 in what has been a physical, passionate battle so far. Elmal Brook drives the baseline. Looks to kick it out. Does so to Abada. Slimani wide open in the corner again. Gets the shot away before the buzzer. But no good as it's off target. Less than a second differential between the third quarter clock and the shot clock. Central African Republic will look to take the final shot of the quarter. Zaki drives the baseline. Kugada blocked. Great play by Adama. He gets the rebound. No one gets it away as he fades away. What a great way to finish the third quarter for the Central African Republic. They bring themselves back to within 1. And the game is on a knife edge. Really great play by Max Kugada. End of the third quarter here in Tunisia. Central African Republic 46, Tunisia 47. An interesting 10 minutes ahead of us. Here are shooting statistics. Neither team doing a great job from outside. The damage is being done inside in this physical affair. 30 minutes gone, 10 to go. Who's coming out on top? Here are the highlights of that third quarter. Tunisia looked like they were starting to gain control. Their offense started to fire, but as has been the case throughout the game, the Central African Republic just brings so much spirit and hustle to the hardwood. They battled their way into low-scoring third quarter. That one was won by Tunisia 14-12, though. That's what's given them their 1-point lead and has perfectly set us up for a big fourth quarter. Remember, Tunisia's unbeaten qualification record are the stakes that are on the table at the moment. 5 wins out of 5 for them. For the Central African Republic, they're on a 3-win, 2-loss record. They have qualified. They will be at AfroBasket 2021. And how much better would it be heading there with your final game being a win over the formidable Tunisian team? Final quarter action underway here in Monastir, Tunisia. AfroBasket 2021 qualifier between the Central African Republic and Tunisia. 30 minutes gone, and Tunisia lead by 1. Adama from the corner, he's short. And the The Central African Republic will take possession. Will the experience of Tunisia pay dividends in the business end of the game? Or can the heart and hustle of Central African Republic overcome it? Jefferson now, shot clock down to 4. Skip to Zaki. Can't hold on to it, steps out of bounds. It's a poor pass by Jefferson. He's made a couple of mistakes in the last couple of minutes of play. Wouldn't surprise me if we see a change and see Djimirabe back into the game relatively quickly. Malbrook now to Abada. Romdan just lost his footing as he came around the screen and slipped. Ends up kicking it as he's falling to the ground, so it will be a Central African Republic ball. Sorry, Slimani, not Romdan. Kozo now. Kozo goes inside, looks for the pass. That looks like an almost impossible pass. The foul is going to be called though on Giaza as Jefferson looks to go up. So Jefferson will head to the free throw line. Pretty good free throw shooter as well, 73%. There's the near impossible pass from Kozo. And Giaza called for his 3rd foul. Going to see him head to the bench as Romdan heads back into the action. Romdan with another big night of performance here for Tunisia. Already on 11 points, 12 rebounds, 5 from 11 from the field. As Jefferson hits the first of his 2 free throws. That one, Romdan, just used to it. I'm sure we'll see him back in the game soon. Jimmy Djimirabe just sitting, waiting. I imagine once we see Mejri back into the game, you'll see Djimirabe back into the action. As Coach Merida will likely react. El Malbrook. Slimani. Drives to the basket. Good defensive take by Dukosi, but the officials have blown the foul. He looked like he was set. Let's see what the officials say. 3rd foul on Dukosi. First team foul of the quarter on the Central African Republic. Young fans in the stands, it's great to see. It's been awful not having any fans courtside. We've got limited numbers here today in the arena, obviously following exceptionally strict COVID protocols, as you would expect. Health and safety of everyone involved is the #1 priority. Everyone adhering to it wonderfully. Undone now. Shot clock running out. Goes strong but can't get the score, but knocks it back, and Adami grabs the rebound and is fouled. And 2 quick fouls for the Central African Republic. Remember, this could come back to haunt them. If they're going to send Tunisia to the free throw line in the business end of the game. Slimani now, Romdan. Abada uses the Adami screen, but Adami rolls. Rejected by Jefferson though, well read. Slimani's open for 3, no good. And Apamo rips down the defensive board. Kagada heavy-handed on the 3. And the Central African Republic's offense is looking a bit stagnant at the moment. Not really team focused, expecting individuals to create. Adami rejected, but foul called. And as I was saying, that's the 3rd team foul now. We all hope the game isn't decided from the free throw line. That's never good when you've worked so hard to have such a wonderful game. Here's the rejection from Jefferson, but the foul, I think, called on Ganapamo from behind. It's going to send Adami to the line for 2 shots. Tunisia with a 1-point lead, 7.5 minutes to go in this highly entertaining clash between the Central African Republic and Tunisia. Jefferson now looking to shape up against Chanufi. Backs his way to the basket but loses the handle. Shot clock's running out. Jefferson again with the poor play. I'm sure Coach Marida needs to take him out of the game. He's not only being ineffective, he's actually being detrimental. Offensive foul's going to be called on Adami. Moving screen. One of the young players they're bringing through into the full senior team, just 23 years old, Hamed Adami. Played in all of the qualifiers so far, though. Biggest game was game day 1. Scored 10 against Madagascar. Hasn't got to double digits since, though. Couple of changes for the Central African Republic as Ganapamo puts the 3 up. Nothing there. Dukosi with the rebound and gets the score. And just like that, the Central African Republic have the lead. (49-48) as Max Kugala goes to the bench. Coach Marida cheering his team on. Measuring into the action. Like clockwork, Tunisia lose the lead, and the big man comes off the bench. Elmal Brook now brings it up over the half, guarded by Ganapamo. Elmal Brook, just a rip through, creates the space. Mejri, and there's the 2. Straight off the bench, and instantly recovers the lead for Tunisia. Straight off the foot of Chanufi. Shot clock will reset out to 14 as the Central African Republic take possession on the side. It is wonderful to hear a crowd, even if it is a limited crowd, making some noise. Such a different spectacle, both for the live fans and for the home fans watching this coverage. And Ganapamo nails a long jumper on the 2. And the lead, once again, goes back and forth in this seesaw contest that we have now in the final quarter. Ganapamo up to double-digit scoring. Foul's going to be called on Grabongo as Elmal Brook gets hit hard. Just the flinch reaction, really, I think, of Grabongo getting caught in the midriff, his arms coming down. They want to review to see if it is an unsportsmanlike foul. My initial reaction is it isn't. We don't have the officials mic'd up for this qualification window, so we won't be able to hear what they say, but we should be able to see what they watch. So here's Elmal Brook going strong to the basket. Grabongo goes up. I'm not sure that is an unsportsmanlike from my interpretation of the rules. It is an unsportsmanlike foul being given. So that will send them to the line and give them possession. And Elmal Brook is an 80% free throw shooter prior to tonight's game. Unbelievably, he has only 2 points to his name though, Elmal Brook. The unsportsmanlike called on Grabongo. And that also pushes the Central African Republic now into the penalty as well. Elmal Brook splits the free throws, scores the first, misses the second. They're the fans that are making the noise. Elmal Brook now going up against Ganapamo again. Doesn't take it, fakes it, puts it up the second time and hits the 3. What a phase of play for Elmal Brook. and stolen away. Abada rejected by Dukosi. He hits the floor hard. That did not look good. What an athletic play by the young big man. What price is he going to pay, though? He looked to land fully on the bottom of his back. He's holding his shoulder as well. This is not a good sight. Let's have a look at the replay. Abada goes strong. Dukosi with a great play, but he lands fully on his back. Let's have a look. Maybe his elbow, actually. The right elbow might have taken a little bit of the punishment away. This is the El Malbrook 3 from the previous possession as he heads to the bench. But that did not look good on Dukosi. Timeout's been called. Dukosi receiving some attention on the bench. Let's see if we can jump into this Tunisian huddle and listen to the coaching staff.
دونك شوف مراد باش تعمل ايكرون على زياد باش تخرج كوتي بالون صالح باش تعمل ايكرون انت على مراد باش تحلوا الباس بتاعك عمر اورينتي اكثر على مراد بعد صالح بعد ايكرون.
Here are some of the highlights from the latest phase of play we've had. Things are warming up nicely for what has been a wonderful game throughout. Physical, passionate matchup between two very proud nations. Tunisia may be the more well-known and historic basketball nation, but the Central African Republic are building a wonderful reputation for how they play the game. Some real stars. Dukosi, thankfully, back on the floor, looking okay. Baseline drive, El Malbrook to Ramadan, gets the score. Tunisian lead up to 5. A little over 5 minutes left on the game clock. Dukosi, Jimrabe, short corner jumper is good. Jimrabe. Just his first field goal of the game. Does have 6 rebounds though. Mejri. Ramadan, no good. Orango. Jimrabe. Slow things down. Zaki, soft hands, no good. Dukosi grabs the rebound. Mejri can only knock it out of bounds. Or is he fouled? It will be a Central African Republic ball on the baseline either way. Three-point lead now for Tunisia. Third foul on Mejri. Double teams there. Dukosi needs to move the ball a bit faster than that. Grabongo goes inside against Mejri. No good. Abada now. As we reach the 4-minute mark left in the game. Abada, lane opens up, drives strong, high off the glass. The foul's going to be blown. Abada's going to get a trip to the free throw line. Zach called for the foul, and it literally was. He turned the corner and put the Jets on, leaving Zaki behind. It's both from the free throw line, and that's the important part of the game now. Those kind of details win or lose your games. Tunisian lead back up to 5. Their defense holding firm. Central African Republic struggling to break down the zone. They're not moving the ball or themselves anywhere near quick enough to break it down. Push in the back from El Malbrook on Jim Rabe. It'll be a baseline ball for Central African Republic. Only the 3rd team foul of the quarter on Tunisia. Still got one more to give before they send the Central African Republic to the line. El Malbrook with his 4th foul. Slimani's going to come back in his place. Scramble on the floor. Slimani comes away with it eventually. Not sure what the officials have called at the moment. Don't know if it's a tied up ball or whether they're going to go to the possession arrow. Slimani's arguing the case that he's got the ball in his hands. I'm not sure that's much evidence to the officials. 1.8 seconds only left on the shot clock though for the Central African Republic to work with. This is going to be a catch and shoot situation. Kagadi swatted away by Chanufi as he roars in the face of Kagada. 0.4 seconds remaining still for the Central African Republic. Knocked away. Surely that's the end of the clock, or some time's got to have gone off the clock. Saying 0.2 came off the clock for that play. That's going to be tough for the scorekeeper to do. Taking 0.2 of a second off. All he can do is run it through. Well, the sound of the buzzer, Tunisia think they should get the turnover possession. Not quite sure it works that way. They need to put 0.2 back on the shot clock for the Central African Republic to work with. They're going to let it run down. I'll be impressed if he can stop it when it says 0.2. It's 7. 0.5. I don't think you particularly need to. 0.3, they've got it to. I think it's clear if you've, it's got to be a tap. It's not a catch and shoot situation. And Mejri taps it, shot clock violation, so it should be a Tunisian ball. Foul's going to be called on Jim Rabe, so that's going to send Chanufi to the line for 2 shots. 3 minutes and 1 second remaining on the game clock, and it just feels like things are starting to fall towards the Tunisian team. Oh, in fact, no shots. I think they might just say it was a shot clock violation. Yeah, they do, and it's a Tunisian ball. Abada. Back to Mejri. Jim Rabe comes out. Mejri drives past him. Throws a hopeful pass towards the direction of Abada, but it's straight out of bounds instead. Turnover ball. Central African Republic take possession. It was a free-flowing, exciting game. It's just got a little bit scrappy in this final quarter. Partly due to the Tunisian defense. It's become exceptionally stingy in this final quarter. Central African Republic have only scored 7 points so far. Ganapamo with the big 3. How big could that shot be? It brings the Central African Republic to within 1 possession now. 14 points for Ganapamo. Jim Rabe steals it. They're going to tie it with the layup. And Ganapamo throws it down for good measure. And that's game tied. 58 to the Central African Republic, 58 to Tunisia. 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. Timeout called Who says there was nothing at stake at this game? Both the teams were qualified, but they have not stepped back. They've not taken their foot off the gas. This is being played as a full-blooded affair. Ganapamo with the triple. And he gets the breakaway dunk on the next possession to tie the game. Tell me this game doesn't mean anything to all of these players. It absolutely does. Timeout called. We're going to jump into the Tunisian huddle now.
كل فوت نشوطوا. chaque فوت نمشيو نلونسي فرون. Au moins on provoque les fautes. Donc خلي الكرة تسيركيلي. إذا tu as décidé باش تاتاكي اتاكي avec force الولاد. ومن بعد اقرا اللاعب. شوف اللات منين جاية. وما ترعش ايدك. كريتير دو تير شو. ما حتى
Back into the action. A little over 2 minutes to play. Tied ball game here in Monastir, Tunisia. The unbeaten Tunisian record at stake as the upstarts, as they might be seen, Central African Republic. Oh, they just leave the lane open like an ocean. El Malbrook with the late Christmas present. Maybe it's his birthday soon. Koji going up against Mejri. Comes back out to Zaki. Koji, long two. Slightly flat on the trajectory. Clips the front of the rim. On its way through. 90 seconds remaining. Mejri now going up against Jimrabe. Gets the first step. Jimrabe's going to get called for the foul. Just wasn't quite ready. Tunisia lead by 2. Mejri at the line for 2 shots. Not a great free throw shooter, that's for sure, Salah Mejri. 2 rebounds short of a double-double today as well. Hits the first of his 2. 11 points on his tally. And hits the second as well. Tunisia's lead now out to a 2-possession lead. That's kind of where we work it out when we get to this business end of the game. How many possessions is it going to take to get back in? It's going to take Central African Republic at least 2 now. Zaki, Ganapamo, short, Mejri rebound. He's now 1 rebound away from his double-double. Abada. We enter the final minute of the game. Done. Hands it off. Good defense here as the shot clock's about to expire. Malbrook comes up short, but it comes straight back to him. How fortunate is that for El Malbrook? It had been a poor offense from Tunisia, but they get the offensive rebound. El Malbrook throws another prayer up. Dukosi brings it down. He's looking to go coast to coast. He eyes up Mejri, Euro step. Mejri with the rejection. Not in my house, young man. 27.2 seconds remaining. Tunisia lead by 4. Look at Mejri staring down Alain Julien Dukosi. Timeout called. 4-point ball game. Can the Central African Republic cause the upset here today? They would absolutely love to turn over Tunisia in their own backyard. Let's jump into their huddle and listen to Coach Marida. Dukosi with a big game today, 14 points, efficient 14 points as well, 6 from 12 from the field, and some real highlight plays. Certainly developing a reputation for himself on the international stage. Alain-Julien Dukosi. Athleticism. And his IQ is developing quickly, starting to read the game. Still some naive mistakes, but what a bright spark for the future of Central African Republic basketball. Baseline possession now for the Central African Republic. 27.2 seconds remaining. They have 17 seconds on the shot clock to work with. Ball's going to have to be inbounded long to Jimrabe. He'll hand it back to Zaki. Zaki sees the lane open up against Mejri. Mejri does a good job against him though. And Apamo with the prayer. That's short. And it will be a Tunisian ball on the baseline. 14 seconds remaining. Is this a bridge too far now for the Central African Republic? Jimrabe is trying to get the officials to change their mind. Timeout has been called. 14 seconds to play. The limited Tunisian fans that are in the arena are enjoying themselves. The Tunisian coaching staff will have a brief discussion. Let's head into their huddle, hear what they have to say.
اوكي باش نقفوا ليني 1 2 4 5 نتاعنا ليني نتاعنا اوكي دونك واحد باش يعمل طلوطه الاولاد هذايا باش يجي لهنا ولا العكس بالعكس ما تجيش للكورنر انا قبل العباد انا قبل الكات يجي للنص
Again, Apamo has done everything he can to get them back into the game, but Tunisia just have so many weapons within their roster. They can just keep turning to a different player to step the tempo up, step the pace up, increase the pressure. And that's exactly what's happened here today. We've seen several players at different points within the game for Tunisia just take the reins, take the leadership over. Coach Marid has done a good job with his team, though, to be this close to a powerhouse within African basketball. Foul's been called. It's a smart foul by Dukosi. Only 1.3 seconds taken off the clock. Sending from Dan to the line for 2 free throws. What a night he's had. He's up to 14 points now, but he does have more rebounds than points. 16 rebounds for Makram Domram today. Unbelievable performance from him. And Apamo almost loses control, managed to get it back to Dukosi. Oh, and he's swatted away by Mejri. Another big block, and that's going to be all she wrote here in Tunisia as the final buzzer rings out around the arena, and Tunisia have completed their AfroBasket qualification in perfect style. 6 games, 6 wins, and the limited number of fans here in the arena have certainly enjoyed this one here today. What a game they have treated us to. A battle throughout. Both teams putting on a real physical show for us, but the final result here in Monastir, Tunisia, is Central African Republic 58, Tunisia 63. Wonderful qualification campaign from the Tunisian team. They will now move on to AfroBasket 2021 in Kigali, Rwanda, later in the year with so much confidence. They have done the job to perfection. A veteran roster on show here. I imagine that the majority of them will be in that final 12-man roster that flies to Kigali to try and take gold, to try and finish on the top of the podium. Here are your shooting statistics. This was a battle in the paint. This was about getting to the bucket. Poor shooting from outside from both teams. Relatively equal rebounding battle. Mejri may be the difference, or in fact probably Ramadan the difference with regards to rebounding for Tunisia. Top scorer was Ganapamo, 16, Dakosi 14, Kugala 12 for Central African Republic, but Ramadan with 14, Abada with 13, and Mejri with 12 for Tunisia for the win. Here are some of the highlights from that second half of action, and it didn't disappoint. The first half was a great advert for African basketball, and the second half continued to do so. More of a defensive battle, though, in the second half, with Tunisia just edging the fight. Tunisia holding to Central African Republic to just 12 points in the third and 12 points in the fourth quarter. They continue their absolutely impressive defensive performances throughout. They have conceded less than 58 points per game on average across the entire qualifiers, which is just an unbelievable defensive effort. And a real team effort as well. For the Central African Republic, though, they'll be disappointed. They had the opportunity to take a big scalp here today, but they've also got to take real pride and real credit and momentum from this game. They were in it for every second. They were up by 10 at one stage in the first half, and they really put Tunisia to probably their biggest test of the qualifiers. Came on this last game. And the Central African Republic now will have the difficult task of selecting their 12 for AfroBasket 2021. Expect to see Dakosi there, that's for sure. That young man, 21 years of age. Expect him to be the big name in Central African Republic basketball for years to come. His development trajectory is unreal at the moment. Ganapamo also had a big game. Plenty of talent on show, and a great way for both of these teams to finish off the qualification campaign. They've both qualified before today's game. And many people say, oh, it's a dead rubber, it's not a game that matters. People, you know, the players won't be putting the effort in. Here's your advert for exactly what playing for your country means to international basketball players. Doesn't matter whether qualification's at stake or not. You're playing for your country, and both these teams have absolutely put everything into this game. They've not put in any less, because the game doesn't have any significance for qualification. They have given everything they possibly can. 1 through 12 on both teams, that's for sure. But Tunisia take qualification and move on with real confidence to AfroBasket 2021. Here's the final table for Tunisia and the Central African Republic. Tunisia finish off with a 6-0 record. Central African Republic, 3 wins, 3 losses. Both teams make it through to AfroBasket. This group will conclude shortly here in this arena with Madagascar against the Democratic Republic of Congo. But the final score here, Central African Republic 58, Tunisia 63.
Dokosi, thank you for joining us. You feel very disappointed. Tell us what is your mindset right now?
Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I think the team too, because we did a great start, but we have to give the credit to the Tunisian team, because they really great team, great offensive team and defensive team. So we really disappointed about the result.
You led the first half, and what did you miss in the second?
What we missed, I think we was too much in a rush, and I think we play with too much speed, and I think that's why they kill us.